Hey guys, welcome to the Heart of David. Some interesting topics today, and if my phone happens to ring, I'm going to walk away, probably in another room, and answer it because I'm expecting a call. So if that happens, then just continue to watch. When I record this on Windows, and there's no pause on Windows, and you say, why don't you edit it on your other thing that you do? That's because, I usually do that when I'm sitting down and I'm able to sit and do longer videos like that, in a different way. But when I use Windows on, if this recorded video I'm doing on Windows right now, if I put that on the program I use, it takes a super long time to upload, just even a minute. So, okay. First thing, and the first thing is going to be, how are the Jews so blinded to this? It's so amazing, and the answer right away, before I even say it, is because God, Yahweh, has blinded them on purpose to let the fulfillment of the Gentiles come in. But it was because of their stiff-neckedness, because they didn't listen to God, they did everything wrong. In a nutshell. And this isn't anything against the Jews. I love everybody. So before I get into this topic, I just wanted to say this. I wanted to just ask people, and I do the same, to pray for everyone who watches my video. And I also wanted to say and thank the people who usually leave comments on my videos. Bible-believing Christians, true Bible, born again. And if you're not, that's okay. Follow. This is a journey, and you're going to have to recognize sin and what it is and stop all that. Yeah. I don't answer long-distance numbers usually, but just give me a second. I can't think with this. Every time I go to make a video, the phone starts ringing. So, yes, all the people that watch my videos, I thank you for watching my videos. And I know a lot of people who follow me have pain and stuff like that, and a lot of believers do. I just want to say thank you, and I pray for all of you. I can't say all your names, but because that would just be too hard. But I pray for you, and I'll say a prayer for you after this video. So, the first topic, it's interesting, and I touched on this before, and I'm going to have to go to Daniel 9. Daniel 9. How is it possible that the Jews missed the coming of the Messiah, but yet... And it's my hope that a Jewish person, man or woman, sees this and understands what I'm talking about. I'll try to give it a good thumbnail. So, let's go to Daniel 9. It gives you a clue here, the biggest clue of all of the entire Bible, both Bibles. People will contend with that, but it is. So Daniel has a vision, the 70 weeks prophecy, which I'm not going to get in the whole thing. I'm going to start at verse 24. This is where, I think this is the part where he realized, right at the end, right before the Medes and the Persians were coming, Jeremiah, Yahweh had told, God had told Jeremiah, that it was going to be Nebuchadnezzar, but all the writings of Jeremiah, Daniel hadn't read. And so, you might ask yourself, how did he not read that? It was probably appointed that way because they had to finish 70 years. Those were 70 years of 70 Sabbaths. So they had to let the land rest. But he said they were going to come back. And when Daniel read Jeremiah, he said a prayer. And the angel Gabriel helped him in a vision, a prophecy. I'm going to read it to you. And so if you're Jewish, there's a lot of hope in this, because, well, just listen. It tells you exactly when the Messiah is going to come in the Old Testament. So my question to you is, why are you still looking for the Messiah today? Because you're probably stuck on the fact that you believe that Elijah is going to come before the great and awesome day of the Lord. But in the New Testament, he did in John the Baptist, which was, I believe it says in Luke, if you can accept this, that it was John the Baptist, Elijah, but in spirit. And I did another video that says it is possible, I don't know though, if, so Elijah was taken up to heaven, John the Baptist came, make the path straight before, like the path straight, I forget it right off the tip of my mind right now. But that was John the Baptist. He fulfilled it. So he came in the spirit. It is possible that Elijah still may come back before the Messiah comes for his second coming, not his first coming. So give me a second. Trying to meet some deadlines here, and holy, people sell your data and you get so many long distance phone calls. It's what they do. You trust someone, you phone them, you buy something from them. What do? They turn around and sell your data. So listen to this. Now while I was speaking, praying, and confessing my sin and the sin of my people Israel, and presenting my supplication, after he reads Jeremiah, before the Lord my God for the holy mountain of my God, because in Jeremiah it said there was going to be 70 years. They were going to be there 7 years. Yes, while I was speaking in prayer, the man Gabriel, who I had seen in the vision at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, reached me about the time of the evening offering. And he informed me and talked with me and said, O Daniel, I have now come forth to give you skill to understand. At the beginning of your supplications, and the command went out, and I have come to tell you that you are greatly beloved. Therefore consider the matter and understand this vision. 70 weeks are determined for your people, for your holy city, to finish the transgression, to make an end of sins, to make reconciliation for iniquity, to bring in everlasting righteousness, to seal up vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. Who is the most holy? The Messiah. Verse 25. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the command to restore and build Jerusalem until what? Messiah the Prince. It's giving it to you right here. I don't know what more a Jewish person would want to ever understand in your own Bible. There shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall even in troublesome times. That was the time of Nehemiah, when they were building. They were rebuilding. And after the 62 weeks, the Messiah shall be cut off, but not for himself. That was Jesus Christ. He was cut off from the land of the living. And the people of the prince who is to come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. So that was Rome. They came and destroyed everything. My point is this. I'm not going to get into that in all the debate about Daniel 9:27. This is not what this is about. This is about, it gives you a mathematical calculation exactly when Jesus Christ is going to arrive on the scene. The Messiah, the Christ. So my question to you is, you just have to figure out, when was that command? It was in 446. People think it's 457, but it's 446, and I did a video on that giving you all the information and the proof. And so there it is. So you have to know that when the Persian king gave the command to restore and build the temple, from that point you can do this mathematical calculation and figure out when Christ comes. Again, my question is to you, why are you waiting for the Messiah? Because if you're waiting for the Messiah right now, in the way that the Jews are, you're going to accept the Antichrist. That's what's going to happen. What else was I going to look at? Actually, I will go to this. You know, one of the only ways, and I can't really do this where I am, but one of the only ways that you're ever going to be able to get a Jewish person to believe this is to go up to them and read these scriptures. That's the only way. And if Yahuwah chooses to continue to blind them, so be it. But I think it's awesome to see Jews who are unblinded. So let's go to Isaiah 53. This is what you miss. You think that Elijah's going to come, then Christ is going to come, the Messiah, and then it's going to be this awesome restoration of the kingdom. You've read it all wrong. And I'm going to read you this because the part that you're forgetting is that the Messiah has to suffer. And you have to accept that. That's what the scriptures say. In what way? Well, number one, why would you forbid this? Why would you shove it to the side? Because if you shove scriptures to the side, you're doomed. Give me a second. I just have to pace here just for a sec. If you forbid scriptures, you're doomed. You're going to accept the wrong Messiah. So we know he has to suffer by this scripture. Are you going to say, well, it doesn't say that? Who has believed our report? And to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, as a root out of dry ground. He has no form or comeliness. And when we see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. He's despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And anyone who says this isn't Christ, by history of what we know, you want to tell me who else this is? A man of sorrows and acquainted with grief, as we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised, and we didn't esteem him. Just check if I'm recording. And we didn't esteem him. Surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. Yet we esteemed him stricken, smitten by God and afflicted. That's exactly what God did. He put all the sins of the world on him to save us. But he was wounded for our transgressions, bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement for our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are healed. Can you think of anyone else who would do that? And we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned every one to his own way, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed, afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He didn't. In front of Caiaphas and Annas and all the leaders, he didn't open his mouth, unless it was for a testimony to say, I am. He was taken from prison and from judgment, and who will declare his generation? For he was cut off from the land of the living, just like it said in Daniel. For the transgressions of my people he was stricken. And they made his grave with the wicked. In the New Testament, he was hung on a tree with the wicked on the left hand and on the right hand. But the rich at his death. What does that mean? The rich at his death. It means that Joseph of Arimathea, who was a prominent person, came, took his body, and dug out a tomb for him, because he had done no violence, nor was any deceit in his mouth. Yet it pleased the Lord to bruise him, to save us. It doesn't mean that Yahuwah is the right. I think I say Yahweh, but Yahuwah. I'm learning more about what the proper way to say it is. But say whatever you guys want. He has put him to grief, but it didn't please him to hurt his son. It's not like that. When you made his soul an offering for sin, wow, like who could this be in history, right? And he shall see his seed, he shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of the Lord shall prosper in his hand. He shall see the labor of his soul and be satisfied. By his knowledge my righteous servant shall justify many. Did he not justify many? He saved us, and now all we have to do is have faith and believe, and we're saved, have eternal life. You're going to accept the wrong Messiah by not learning these things. No wonder they call this the forbidden scripture. Why would it be forbidden? It's Isaiah. For he shall bear their iniquities. Therefore I will divide him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong. Because he poured out his soul unto death, and he was numbered with the transgressors, the people on the left and the right on their crosses. And he bore the sin of many, us, the whole world, and made intercession for the transgressors. There is only one man, one mediator, the man Jesus Christ now. We don't have to go to man to have our sins forgiven, a rabbi, a priest. We don't have to do that. We have a mediator. We can talk. The only way to get to Yahuwah is by talking to Jesus Christ. I'm making this so you can see this if you're Jewish. That's what I have to say with this. I don't think I looked for any more proof, but there certainly is. What else was I going to talk about here? Oh yeah. I tend to talk about quite a few things, touch on different topics. I have 3 more topics. I just want to say this quickly. There's a lot of, I find there's a lot of inaction in the world, like in North America, in the West. Yeah, there are rallies and, like the truckers and the farmers out doing that kind of stuff. But this is the way the world is right now. If you go look on YouTube and you see all the podcasters and all that, and you're following a lot of Christian YouTubers and people who want good for this world, it's hard to miss people, the most prominent people who seem to be on our side. Jordan Peterson, Tucker Carlson, all of those people, Megyn Kelly, all of those, Dr. Phil, all of them. Some of them I may be wrong about. Maybe not. Dr. Phil is very good, actually. You know who I mean. All these people who have anywhere from 500,000 followers to 10 million, right? Okay? Joe Rogan, all these people. All the people on Fox News. I've already looked, I've seen how much are each of these people worth. And there's hardly a person that's not worth more than $5 million. I know they see the world falling down. And all I see is them making podcast after podcast. They travel from country to country. They complain. This is all that they do. My question about these people is this. And as a Christian, I'm sure maybe you feel the same way. So how much pull do you think Tucker Carlson has? How many people do you think he could get? How many people do you think Ben Shapiro could get? Candace Owens, Jordan Peterson, all these conservatives / Republicans, and all of the people who were Democrats, the real Democrats, liberals, whatever. Why are they just watching it occur and complaining They go to podcast as if a podcast is going to do anything. Right? I'm going to talk you to death, right? That's what it is. That's why it can be so angering to see, hey, I choose to watch the news. I focus on pretty much Christian YouTube channels. But I'll look at the odd thing depending on what the subject is. So I've pulled myself away from that kind of stuff for the most part. Just think of what each of these person mingling with each other send a message to another. Get all them together. You could get many millions of people to stop the WEF, this ESG, DEI stuff. White people are racist, all that. You know exactly what I mean. When the world gets to a certain point, you know, the analogy of the the frog in the the frog in the pot, instead of, the frog would jump out if it was really hot, right? But if you do it nice and slowly, he'll die that way. He'll just stay in there. Are these people with so much sway that could easily stop this? I believe they could. Why aren't they? I'd like to hear that in the comments section, because I've been, and you say, well, Dave, why don't you go out and do something? Because I don't have sway. I don't have that. That would only interest me if those people actually did that. I said, even with all the pain that I suffer with, would I go to a rally? Sure, I would. I would, but I don't understand. I understand a peaceful one. A peaceful one. Does there have to be a little bit more than peaceful? I probably believe that. It's gone so far. They're trying to literally kill people, take things away from people, like charging us to breathe air. Who the hell do these people think they are? That's all I have to say about that. You understand that all the people who seem to be smart are to me, I'm not going to say that they're stupid, because they're not, but they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything. All they do is gather big crowds for the big podcast, whether they make money or not, which most cases they do. I saw a video, and I've said this a long time ago, so I'm going to have to take a little break to let this, my throat contracts a lot. Just give me a second. The nerves in my back are like, they have a mind of its own. It's like Jekyll and Hyde, really. Like, I'll go to bed, I'll be totally fine, I had a good day. I don't know if it's my pain meds tricking me, but it's like, if it's not totally there, right? If it's not there at all, then I don't know, it could be, like, I sleep on my back always. Like I don't sleep on my side, I don't do that, so I don't know, some days I have a perfect day, and then I wake up the next morning and then I'm like all messed up in my back, both top and bottom. So I saw a video, and I've raised this topic, and I think this is one of the reasons people follow me, because you may have a physical illness, you may have a neurodevelopmental disorder, you may have a mental disorder. A lot of people who are in Christ do. A lot of people in this world do. As a matter of fact, I think it's probably about at least 50%. I don't mean neurodevelopmental, but people who have a mental illness, probably due to the way society is, because of devices and all that type of stuff. Because it just breeds illness, right? And that's why I tell people, like, get off social media. So excuse me, there is one question that not one single pastor will answer me. And so there was a video the other day that I watched, a Christian YouTuber, and I actually did one of his videos. He was very good. I won't mention who it is because of what I'm talking about, but it was about taking the mark of the beast, okay? And we know from Revelation 13, likely our money will be cut off if we don't do certain things. And you look at places like Chase Bank, like in the States, they'll debank you if you have certain political beliefs and stuff like that. We see CBDC. We see that this could be part of it, right? Certainly. The reason they want to get us on CBDC is to control us. It's nothing else. I don't believe it's anything else. I don't believe it's anything else. Ever since C19, right? Ever since that, why is it? It's been about control. Ever since then, it never turned back. So my question was this: no pastor wants to answer me, and or people who have a lot of sway in YouTube, who seem to be very investigative and knowledgeable, they won't answer me this question. And before I even say it, I'm going to tell you, I know it's going to be faith, and you're going to tell me it's faith, and go ahead and put your answers in the comment section. My nerves. I know you're going to put faith, but my point is that a pastor won't say it to me. I take opiates for my pain. I can't live without them. When I wake up in the morning, I'm sometimes like I'm in level 10 pain when I wake up. If I don't get my meds, I'm in a lot of trouble. So I have 12 different pain disorders. 4 of them are pain suicide diseases. And what's a pain suicide disease? It just means pain strong enough to make you want to kill yourself. And so my question is, if this mark of the beast is coming, and let's say it comes to the point like it is in China, right, with the social credit score. This is all over the place. We know it's coming. A lot of people won't believe it, but it's right in front of our faces. They're just not willing to listen. Am I supposed to, when that day comes, if that's it, it's going to come to CBDC because 120 or so countries have already done their pilot project. Am I supposed to be expected to just have faith and cut off all my medication with full body CRPS, adhesive arachnoiditis, very trigeminal neuralgia, both sides, occipital neuralgia in the back of my head? Am I supposed to just do that? And this is what no pastor will answer me. It makes me kind of confused sometimes. I wouldn't say it gives me a lot of anxiety. And in my mind, I have already come to a conclusion that I would have no other choice. And I got an answer, like I wrote on the video, will you answer this? Because he seemed like the type of person that would answer any question, but he didn't. So just give me a second. I wish I could tell you everything that's wrong with me physically, because it's not nice. And it's beyond what I know and anyone else. That's what my life is. That's why I'm very serious about my life. The person wrote back to me and they said, I wish I could read it right now, maybe I will. Sorry guys, I'm dealing with a lot of nerve pain in my back. I got a nice reply here, okay? Maybe you're in this position, and I think some people in the room are here. If I don't have opiates, I won't be able to eat, I won't be able to sleep, I won't be able to walk. Faith, right? I know. But how do you answer this question? I'd like to hear it answered. My friend is a diabetic. We were talking about how so many of us are on prescriptions. We realize that God, so I make a clear distinction here, okay? There are people with depression, and if those were taken away from them, that would suck. I understand they can have horrible withdrawals from them. But I am separating myself from just people who are mentally ill versus someone who's in a pain equal to that of terminal cancer. What do those people do? What are those people expected to do? What if you have like someone with bone cancer? It's a very good question. My friend's a diabetic. We were talking about, and I'm not saying anything bad about people with depression and stuff. That's not what I'm saying. I'm trying to make a clear distinction. We realize that God's going to do some crazy miracles. He knows how to take care of us. So yes, throw all your chips in his basket. Maybe he'll heal you, or maybe you will die a martyr's death. But I do believe he's going to sustain his people to the very end. And I know the messages throughout the Old Testament and New Testament. I found a new one, by the way, about him hiding us until his indignation is past in Isaiah. I put it in my email, but I'm not going to look for that right now. But I believe he's going to do and sustain his people to the very end. I pray for you and me. Our faith will not fail. Let us realize how much he loves us and set our mind on heavenly things. It's the only thing you can do. So I've been in a spot in my life where I didn't think I was even going to be able to pay for my meds at one point, but I'm okay now. And now we can see what's happening around us, right? And those who take many meds just to survive. What can we do? We can read the scriptures and hope. That's it. Sometimes I say, why, like I was born for this time on these meds. Like if I wasn't on meds, I'd be able to make it. I could probably go out in the forest and survive that way. I bet you I could. So you get my point. And it isn't about that. I'm not trying to make people scared or anything. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to raise a reality. And so I'm just going to do an overview. So the first was for the Jews. If you want to write in the comments section any other scriptures that will help a Jew realize what they're missing, because I know there are. I'm just presenting those two there. So, and I didn't say this, so if Elijah is to come before the Messiah, I gave you the mathematical calculation in Daniel 9. That means he already came. So you're going to accept a false Messiah. That's what's going to happen. So this is why I make this. And then, man, I'm in so much pain. I'm forgetting all the topics I talk about. I'm just going to let it go here. Yah bless everyone, and I'll say a prayer for everyone who watches this, and take care.